We're good to go.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dirty 20 Gaming Sunday Night Games, Stars That Outnumber. Tonight we start our fifth episode, Fire Marengo, the first stanza. Our virtual tabletop is Roll20. Our models are provided by Hero Forge. Our overlay is provided by OBS. Art assets have been provided by Pixabay, and our music is provided by bensound.com. Ship's log, secondary array GT 1100, self-designation Logos, May 7th, 3200. It has been 195,289 days since our last software update. We have departed the Thraco system, and we are less than 7 hours from arrival in the Gorgeus system. The new miners seem to be settling in well. The ship is clearly luxurious to them compared to their former arrangements. I have not yet disclosed my sentience to the new members of the crew until it is clear these arrangements will be long-term. The Vertigo system has a supermassive gas giant, a rarity, and during our last sensor sweep, a thriving terraform planet with a pair of moons. Chief Atticus of the miners brought aboard has indicated this may no longer be the case. The crew seems tense. Captain Booker Immortel's confrontation does not appear to have resolved any difficulties, and the others appear to have collectively deduced this. The miners appear to have adopted Maiko as one of their own, and her vaccine appears to have acquired a new stencil, sticker, or decoration every time she emerges from engineering. All right. It has been a 2-week trip through jump space to arrive at the Vertigo system. What have you been spending your time doing? We'll start with Maiko since she was the first one mentioned.
Maiko has been learning pretty much. Okay, so is it possible for Maiko to have been taking like mock piloting lessons from one of the miners, because she clearly needs some tutoring in that area?
Nico is one of their most experienced. Well, he had the most hands-on experience. He was the one who did the rescue on both occasions. And it's very possible to set it up to do it virtually. Some of the shuttle on board even has it so that it can do an overlay of the actual screen of like a simulated environment. And so you can do everything with like, live controls, but no reaction, and it'll get updated by the computer system for training purposes.
Okay. So Maiko has been concentrating on learning how not to hit things with the ass end of the lander. And getting to know the miners. Like, she absolutely wants to know every life story, and she has also been introducing them to the drones, like to the names, like that one's Firefly, that one's Lily, that one's like, so like it's been her own personal social hub in engineering with her new friends. Like, she's absolutely like the socialist of social butterflies and just loving it. Like, everyone's invited. Like, if Bite wants to swing by, if Booker swings by, like, he is absolutely invited to the tea party, but she's just clearly like getting her social on and filling her social bar like a starved sim.
So a brief kind of rundown of the personalities, the 6 people that are brought aboard. There's Atticus, who's now going by Chief instead of Captain. He's definitely kind of, he's got the whole like rough senior NCO thing down, but definitely cares about his crew. He's always happy to sort of like, what do you need? Do you need anything? And if there is something that his men can do or he can do, providing her the resources that she needs to do it, extra pair of hands, some time. They're happy to help with like working on getting the mining ship fully up to speed, which is something that can be done during all of the transition too. So they actually seem to have a really hard time like having their hands be still. They were used to always having something to do. So there's also Theodore, who goes by Teddy, who is the ship's quartermaster. He is easily startleable. It's not that Maiko like necessarily sneaks up on anybody, but he's not used to voices coming from below waist level. And so frequently when she talks and he's not expecting her to be there, she'll get like the kind of jumping cat reaction from him.
Oh my gosh. That's
Um,
adorable.
There is Atlas, who is, in his words, a fan of classical music, which is apparently defined as anything before 2700. He is a not terrible cook. He's very quiet. He's also the one who's trained to do sensor stuff, so he often kind of taps out bite. Like, how long has it been since you slept? Okay, I can watch the sensors for a while. That kind of thing. He is happy to adopt any of the little like droids that can play music. And he's not a terrible cook either, so he occasionally puts meals together. Mostly he keeps to himself and he's fairly quiet. There's Bastion, who is the former like gunnery guy that man their like mining lasers and stuff like that. He's very cheerful. He's happy to give Maiko her first taste of ship-side moonshine. And then is pretty startled by how easily she handles it. Like, it doesn't taste great, but she also doesn't like fall over from it, which most of the mining crew seem pretty impressed by. She's already met Tobias, who is, big, strong, hardworking, not a terribly great engineer. And she's already met Nico, who is kind of like the smaller, slimmer version of Tobias. He's also not like, winning any awards for smarts, but he's very earnest, very hardworking. He's the only one of the miners that like wears a cross, and has it on most of the time, but he also doesn't like preach anything about it. He doesn't really talk about religion unless asked. It's just kind of something that she'll occasionally see him like reach down, pull it out, give it a kiss before doing something that's a little risky. Does that give you a good idea of all of the crew?
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. What does so what does Bite do in between being like relieved?
Oh, when he's not working?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I already told what I'm up to, so it's time for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this like tapping the next person in line system. Like, so
Okay.
let's keep that going forward.
Egg you it.
So Bite will sometimes try and go down to Maiko and try to learn to be social. Again, the word is try, because the minute like they all start talking to him, he just like shuts down and just walks away very quietly, doesn't say anything, just like uncomfortably just leaves. And goes back to one of the stations to talk to Logos, and to do research. He's probably been very yes, Maiko, how do you people? He's also probably been like hanging out with Booker and helping Booker out whenever he needs it. And also he's probably put in some things either through the system or throughout the ship to keep an eye on Mortel. He's been searching through code just to make sure. He has been doing everything in his diligence to effectively keep Mortel out of Logos and away from the droids and just all of that. So I think that's it for for Bite.
The first time that Bite kind of flees from the social engagement, Bastion, asked Michael, like, did we do something? And then the second time that there's a fleeing, Bastion will get up and like follow. He has like he's got the like former military thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like shaved head, lots of muscles, lots of tattoos, but it's kind of like you look like a person who knows their way around a card game.
Around a what?
Card game.
I don't know what that is. I know
You
Bite does.
with cards, like deck of
card. I kept hearing car. Like beep beep.
Right.
No, not card.
No.
So I was like, no cars.
Bite's
Do not
like,
put
I
me
don't know.
on.
I know go fish.
Yeah, he's probably like naming. He probably names a bunch of like old for them card games. For him though, he's like, I played this yesterday.
So, well, teach me the rules. I'm always happy to learn a new one. And he kind of like makes a point of like, he'll sit and it doesn't like the conversation can be about what's in front of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And just the cards. But he's like a big hulk of a guy and he's happy to be bent over a table with a bunch of cards and like trying to make you feel welcome. That seems to be part of his personality, is being welcome.
Yeah, Bite will try, but there's a point even for that he's just like, nope, too much.
Yeah. You're also happy to offer Bite some moonshine.
No.
He'll try it.
Yeah,
But he'll probably like fall over coughing.
You might want to cut that next time.
Meanwhile,
I
Mike
haven't
is like,
even-
"Ixnay,
I haven't even drank the normal stuff yet.
Yeah,
So.
his eyes get wide like that's some sort of a tragedy. Next time we are playing outside, we are going drinking.
Oh no.
Booker, I need an adult.
I need an adult near the closest thing we have.
All right. So, going over to Booker.
I mean, a lot of what Booker is doing is also just doing some paperwork so we can get... He's doing a bunch of clerical stuff that he hates to make sure that everyone is going to be okay once they get to a planet. Registering these people as passengers as opposed to as crewmates, as is their current agreement. And he will occasionally come down to meet up with the rest of the crew and say hi. I'm certain that almost every time he comes in, people stiffen up a little bit, just given his demeanor and his. Okay.
The chief definitely does, and the gunner definitely does. They both. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he 100% gets like a big hug from Maiko every time.
Hey, Maiko. So, how are things doing here?
Great. They are. How much? You remember how we talked about how sometimes you want like a little report, and sometimes you want like a big report, and sometimes you don't want a report at all?
This one is more 2 sentences.
Things are great. We're very happy.
Excellent.
Okay.
And Booker just kind of looks around trying to figure out, what the hell am I supposed to do here? I'm not used to people. I used to be the company sniper. I hung out in the bushes for about 2 days. And then I'd come back and go, I need something to eat. And then they'd send me back into the bushes for 2 days. So Booker is he's not as socially awkward as more just socially incompetent. So he just kind of comes and goes, okay, you seem to all be having a good time. Carry on. And then just starts leaving.
Thanks for visiting.
Atticus, for his part, definitely frequently, like, at least on a daily basis, like, goes to Booker with do you need anything? Is there anything you want getting done? He's the one who is the captain of the asteroid.
Yeah.
He's like very much a crew chief in
Booker is seeing exactly as that as well. I think Booker is just kind of having him keep him up to date with kind of status reports about how people's moods are, what they need. If there's anything that he, as captain of the ship, can help orchestrate.
Yeah. He definitely, it's as you're about a week into your trip, he's like, I've never been to Vertigo myself. He says, I just know, he says, what those who've been passing through have said, and it sounds like it's a shithole right now. He says, I don't have all the details, he says, but I understand, he says, there's conflict, he says, between maybe pirates, he says, maybe just people in the area, he says, the planet itself has gone to shit. He says, so, I mean, trade ship, you might have plenty of work there, but you might want to be prepared to fight for what you have too.
Well, I'm more used to that than I am the other one, so
Um,
Is there anyone of your crew that wants any extra training to prevent the sort of pirating mishap you had last time?
uh, I think he says that kind of pirating mishap only gets avoided. He says if you have enough guns. Says, and bottom line, we didn't.
I think part of it's also the fact that looking at you, and I mean this with all respect, you don't really know how to use those guns. Doesn't matter how many you have if you don't know how to shoot them.
He says some of us have had some training. He says, but definitely most of us didn't. He says,
well, any of you that do wish for some training, please send them my way. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep doing what I can, keep your people happy, keep my people happy, make sure that we don't do anything uncouth to each other. And as he says that, he's like, his brain just kind of moves to Mortel for a second and then just back to everything else.
He says you should definitely talk to Teddy, the quartermaster. He could probably use a lot to do. He says as far as knowing the long-term plans for trading. He says that's his whole bag, is keeping things running on a shoestring and a prayer. He says now you've got an entire factory that you could be using. He says minerals that could be processed into things. He says, and with some direction, he says could be making a lot more use of it.
All right. Well, I'll make my way over to Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy is like the one that you think has probably had like the most sort of PTSD type experience from everything that happened on the mining ship.
Yeah.
Because he definitely is not a guy who signed up to get shot at.
Yeah.
He like, I'll take that easy desk job where I push around numbers and manage inventory and whatnot, and then ended up being one of the last 6 surviving on an asteroid station, probably very far from where he thought he was going to turn out in life. So anything that's like, he seems to find like numbers and charts and spreadsheets very soothing.
Okay. Equipped with that knowledge, Booker will essentially be as gentle with Teddy as he can be, and come with some sheets and spreadsheets and stuff like that he's going to ask Teddy to help him out with, because he's a little incompetent, to try and make Teddy immediately feel useful as opposed to...
What if Booker gave Teddy some of the paperwork that he hates?
That's also a bit of what Booker's thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, that's... He's thinking that, like, he's handing off a little bit of paperwork he hates that he doesn't want to do, as well as the fact that knowing that doing something like this will help Teddy feel useful and part of the crew, and will help things move a lot more smoothly and cohesively.
And Teddy is very much like that kid who got his homework done early and was happy about it, and then goes to ask for more homework.
Yeah, no, and even set Teddy up in a little office if he needs one. Or set Teddy up in an office if that is something Teddy would be interested in. Not trying to put Teddy in anywhere, just giving Teddy the options.
He's perfectly happy to be in an office. His previous position had also been like the pilot for the actual asteroid base, because it moved very slowly and was all about a lot of calculations as opposed to faster mining ships. So he's actually a fairly skilled pilot of anything that's big and slow moving.
Unfortunately, we're a little medium size and faster.
Yeah. But in an emergency, he can certainly sit on the bridge if needed. So
yeah. So Booker is trying to help get Teddy to do that as much as possible, and also makes a mental note that when Gerard is feeling better and not space sick, as he currently is.
He seems to have picked up some of the radiation poisoning that the miners had. The miners are all praising his, abilities as a doctor because they feel better than they have in years.
Yeah, but he needs rest and stuff like that. So he's just thinking that maybe he just kind of lets I'm reading chat as well. I almost said Mortel. Lets Gerard rest for a while. And also has Gerard maybe do some mental checkups on those who most certainly seem like they might need it.
Um,
I think you mean
All
to
right.
me.
So yeah, I think we're moving over to
Hell been
Mortel
up
now.
to?
Yeah, although this
Oh.
is just before we do move over to Mortel, I would like to kind of get myself into the spot where everyone is drinking the first time, just so when Bite actually goes, Booker, help me.
Sure.
Booker can be there.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, and he is certainly not above offering the captain some of his homemade moonshine.
Booker accepts, kind of holds it up, finds whatever is space for Nastarovia, and shoots it back. With the only exception be with kind of the want for it to work, but knowing Booker's genetic modifications as they are, just essentially turns into more biofuel.
Yeah, it's I mean, they definitely seem impressed by your tolerance. You know what I'm saying? They definitely have some unconscious hierarchy that goes on with the ability to handle your liquor. So
yeah, and Booker doesn't wince. He doesn't do anything. He just kind of thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do we need to do next?
So the ship is going to be arriving soon. But as far as like the general things, when you have some time with Teddy will kind of lay out like, you know, there's a couple different things that they could be building with the factory and stuff. Since they have multiple engineers now, they could be running it like 24/7.
Yeah, Booker does ask if there's the potential to build him a sniper rifle while they're doing that.
If you see
misses his old
engineer
one.
go, she seems to be able to make anything.
Then Booker's
They
going to
made
talk to Teddy and see if that can be
hat.
put into the work orders. Yeah.
Wait,
But at that, but you know, as soon as the sniper rifle request has been put in, Booker also kind of lets Teddy know that he should be a little aware of Mortel. Maybe not watching out for him, but just, you know,
Well, honey,
aware of him.
everybody's aware of Mortel.
The warning definitely Teddy definitely seems to take any such warning from somebody like Booker as that there's probably much more that he needs to be worried about. He spooks easily, and so you can tell that he starts to sort of have the reaction of like when he sees Mortel, he tends to go the other way in a hall, like he just, you know, sometimes scrambles the papers that he has in hand and tries to collect them quickly and go another direction.
Mhm.
Thank you for
you got the right idea in
Thank
mind.
you for running away, honey. You have a fantastic bottom.
Oh, yeah. You too.
I know.
So what else does Mortel do aside from compliment people's bottoms?
Making people uncomfortable. That's a full-time job. But in his spare time, in their spare time, I'm working on the virus in my slab because I've been cut off from the rest of the computer. I have disguised it as an update. So the idea is if they ever do rehook me up, it's going to look like one of those "Do you want to update" files. I have been wandering around the ship looking, but not touching vital things and vital places. And the only thing else I've been doing, two more things. I've been drawing and writing filthy graffiti hidden away in various places, like not obvious places. You'd have to be sitting in a weird spot to see it. And I would like to try and use the ship's computer to just hook up to just a news network as soon as we come out of weird space. So I want to see if this ship is wanted for the attack on the battleship.
So the thing is that the entire area of space that you guys are in are not connected to any news network. That's been part of the reason that Byte hasn't been able to like get many updates and stuff like that. Most often how those things happen is that refueling stations inside of a system will have sort of any records that have been kept by the last few ships that have gone by. There isn't like a transmission system that works across sectors. So if anything, it tends to be like a data dump that they will just download to the first refueling station that they spot.
Okay.
Since there tends to only be one per sector.
In that case, I will wait until we get close enough to do that information transfer.
However, I would like you to make a stealth roll.
Stealth roll.
I think it's under
Skills, one would presume.
sneak.
Sneak. Oh, wait. Modifiers. Dexterity sneak, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Or not good.
There is a portion of the lower level that when you're attempting to find a discrete area to paint some more penises in.
Yes. Well, they're not all penises. I'm an equal opportunity graffitist.
I'm just imagining with paint penises, you just have a little tiny beret and yes. Oh.
Different character. Different character.
Yeah, there so between the upper and the lower level, there is crap, I'm forgetting the name of it. There's the kind of like half floor that's between levels, in which there's like electrical and wiring and everything that runs through it. Like Maiko finds it super comfortable. Everybody else very much not so. Tobias will, trade an arm to like have somebody go else instead of him.
Yeah.
But there's a section of it that you're going into going, they'll never find it here.
Yes.
That as you like round one of the corners while you're crawling through,
Yep.
you encounter like the first droid that you've seen that is armed.
Yep.
Like lasers at the ready. You know what I'm saying? And it just like takes aim and warms up as it's warning to go away.
I knew this ship didn't like me. I back away from where I know a rattlesnake when I see one. You back away.
You're not even sure that it's connected to the rest of the network, actually.
Yep. Noted.
What?
Security bots in some of these places. So yeah, I'll back out of there and go find another place.
Wait, so what happens if
it was going to be a bum this time.
If Maiko goes in there?
She's never seen a security droid down in the intermediary area.
Okay. I was like, did she...
And this likely has nothing to do
I'm
with...
very confused, because Bite would be very much like confused.
Well, this might be a Mortel only thing.
This may also have to do with Booker saying send a droid after Mortel sometimes.
Yep.
Is that actually a gun? I don't know. Maybe it's just a laser pointer and big fan.
All right. So is there anything anybody wants to accomplish before they arrive in the system?
I'd really just like a sniper rifle and a knife. That's really... Booker wants to feel more comfortable.
Can I make that for him?
Yes, actually, you have the ability to go above and beyond with that if you would like some details.
I want to make him... Okay, so, like, this is probably not what he had in mind for his sniper rifle, but I want to make him one of, like, not, like, that's, like, a pretty color, like, bronzed, if possible. What? And Bite can absolutely help? Yes?
No. Oh, no, I was talking about chat. Someone put programming update in there, and I know what that means.
Do you want to talk about it before I go into the gun thing?
Oh, programming update. If user equals Mortel, then security bot, else trust user, end. Meaning deploy a bot whenever Mortel is in the area. Otherwise, you can trust the user in the area.
Yep.
Oh God, I'm having flashbacks of Python class. No. I hated that. Hated that so much. Anyway, so the gun. First of all, Maiko is super excited that like Booker asked her for something. Like, is very...
Booker will have very slight, like not very slight details. They will be very slight details. They're not very intricate. It has to be matte, so it doesn't shine, and it has to shoot slugs, not lasers.
Does he need slugs made too? And can I do that?
Yes and yes.
Okay. So
It is
yeah,
good old fashioned bullets.
he gets like a bronzed, like, and she's fine with making it matte, but like the gun is like bronzed and kind of like the trigger guard has a little bit of an extra loop in there, like it's a little bit like filigreed. He's got like a kind of auto, like if she can do these things, he's got like a little auto loader where, like, I don't know, she just like makes it easier for him to put the slugs in there. Like, can we do that, GM?
So you have the ability to create like customized modifiable items that give a bonus whenever they're used, so long as they're customized to a specific user. Does that make sense? So it's effectively like mastercrafted. And in the case of something like a firearm, I think it gives a bonus to hit and a bonus to damage.
Okay. I like
you
that.
have a limited number of things that you can maintain at a single time, but because of your mechanical feat, that amount is doubled. So I think it's like twice your fixed score of items that you can be maintaining.
So 4 things. Does that include, like, is it 1 gun and 1 bullets, like set of bullets, or does he only get 1 gun and 3 bullets?
The mastercrafting works on the weapon. You don't have to like mastercraft ammunition.
Okay, go.
Just so, and I'm not actually going to say you can't mastercraft ammunition. It's just a little too much stuff to add up there.
Yeah, because then we'd start having to think about hollow point, as well as explosive rounds, and just a bunch of stuff that Booker would be going, yeah, no, I need these kind of bullets for this time. This one's for specifically hunting mammoths. This one...
Tuesdays after 3
I'm
o'clock.
assuming that all of that is actually like very easily set up. Like here's like 100 different types of customizable rounds. You have a ship's armory as part of the ship's like setup. So having a range of ammunition that a sniper prefers, no problem.
Okay.
Now you're still going to be carrying a limited amount when you leave the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like an amount that is appropriate to encumbrance and the like, but
yeah,
being able to acquire it and have it built, not a difficulty, especially not with Michael's engineering abilities.
He definitely has like the part where he holds is definitely molded to his hand and feels amazing, like against his palm and all of that stuff. And when she goes to like give it to him, she's like, okay, well, there's just one last thing. What are you gonna name it? Because I'll put its name on it.
Actually, I was going to leave that up to you if you wanted to.
But it's not mine.
Yeah, but you're the smith.
Well,
It's my general belief that the person who makes the weapon is the person who has first dibs to name it.
I never thought of it that way. I just, like, as you use it, you get to know it, right? Like, every ship, you have to get to know it before you kind of just...
Yeah, it's the same concept that but the ship needs to have a name before it goes off, otherwise it's incredibly bad luck for the ship.
Wow, okay. She's just gonna, like, look down at this sniper rifle that she's, well, I guess a name should convey fortune to you, too. So I guess I'll name it Bullseye and hope that you never have to put it toward me.
How about this? And Booker just kind of stands up a little straighter and kind of very clearly. Why not something like Maiko's shot?
Well,
this wouldn't exist without you. Take some pride.
Sure. Okay.
Or you could call it DeWitt, yeah.
What does that mean?
I'm more just reading chat.
Oh. I like, is there something I'm missing? Okay. And so she'll take her little tool and like along the bottom inscribe Maiko's gift along the bottom, and then hand it over to him. It's all yours.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to make, so I'm really glad that you asked me to. Thank you so much.
I'm glad it seems to be made of such incredible quality.
I did my best.
It's very clear you did.
Thank you. She's just
And
like,
Booker
super
slings
happy
it
about
over.
it.
Booker slings it over his back. He's not testing it here because this is the kind of gun he would use to kill a building.
You might startle Teddy.
Putting holes in spaceships is bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do not shoot laser pistol in space canoe. Cause explosive decompression.
Logos
There's probably
chimes
a
in.
shooting range.
Logos chimes in and says, "I can make arrangements for you to practice with it after we are out of work, after we are out of Spike Space."
That sounds good.
With that note, by the way, Maiko immediately, as soon as they're dropping out of Spike Space, is like up to the bridge, like doesn't even like data slab it, like is up to the bridge, like asking Bite, like, is there a news network? Do we have any news? So whatever else everybody's doing, like that's cool, but eventually she'll want to come back around to that.
Because Maiko actually built the gun, Booker's going to spend some time building a shiv. It's essentially a shiv. Just something he can easily hide on his person. And then pull out and then stab someone 3 times in the neck with.
That's very easy to do with the equipment aboard the ship.
Yeah. This is called Maiko's gift, and this is called Booker's disappointment.
Shouldn't it be bigger?
Just
That
name
wasn't
it.
even in character. That wasn't even Mortel.
Just name it Mortel and be done with it.
Oh
No, I do not hide it in my prison wallet. Thank you for asking. It is Booker has like one of the reasons Booker has a metal arm is specifically so he can hide things into it. It's about the size of his forearm.
Yeah, if you would like to spend some time with Maiko, Mike can modify her arm to hide it such that I will give it a major bonus during any kind of like checks, because she'll be able to form fit it.
Then yeah, well, we're working together. Booker and Maiko will work together on his arm a bit as well.
Do you need a roll for?
Because right now all I can do is hide a small bit of ammunition. So you search me down, cool. There's a small little bullet right here. You won't find easy.
I'll assume that your arm can be modified to hold up to 3 rounds for your sniper rifle, and the shiv.
All right, that's 2 more rounds than I was hoping for.
And I don't require a roll for it. She's, multiple feats dedicated for this purpose. So.
And Booker has a feat dedicated to hiding weapons.
All right. So, you guys drop out of the spike port. The sensors take a little bit to like ping everything and come back. There is for anybody with a no skill of 0 or higher, they have enough understanding of like physics to understand that the arrangement of planets inside of the system is unusual. There's the star, multiple planets orbiting it. The terraformed planet is in turn being orbited by a gas giant, which is being orbited by moons. That is not natural.
Yeah.
And exactly how
I'm
it was
like,
accomplished is
what?
I'm trying to understand it myself. So it's a gas giant star.
No.
No?
There's a central star that's like a yellow star, like our sun. Does that make sense?
Sure.
there's
Ball of
in
plasma.
like there's multiple planets in every single sector that you guys go to. I don't describe most of them because they're not of any like real use. Does that make sense? Like if you ever ask me like what other planets are there in the system, I will happily like, you know, roll some dice and come up with a list for you. But I generally only like detail ones that have something interesting or some kind of terraforming or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I don't want to give you guys like a boring ass rundown of like the 17 planets, you know. But this one, what is unusual, so there is a terraformed planet, like blue and green and whatnot, that has a gas giant, a supermassive gas giant, like 3 or 4 times the size of Jupiter, orbiting the planet itself, and moons that are moving in like think of like you're not seeing all of it over it, but you can tell that the moons continually move between the orbit of the gas giant and the planet.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like they're almost sort of like switching out of one orbit into another, like a
Kind of like a figure eight.
yeah. So that arrangement does not occur naturally. It is likely the effect of some sort of leftover mandate science or project. None of you have ever seen anything like it before, and you can't even imagine what like the waves on the planet are like on the ocean.
The tides.
Probably crazy as hell. So,
Booker is just putting in his mind that would be a great place for a casino on that moon. Just
This is probably close to the first time anybody's seen Mortel, is when we pop out of weird space and back into regular space. So I want to be there to check. I want to check the mail. Not my mail. I want to check the news, too. I want to know if we're wanted.
so the refueling station, when you ping it, it pings as active and manned. It also the moment the ping from the detects the refueling station, you can tell that there's a ship docked at said refueling station, which is broadcasting a distress signal while docked.
we're going in, aren't we?
There is there's also the planet itself with its multiple moons. There are 2 research stations in orbit around the gas giant mine, both of which respond to the ping, as well as a ping from one of the moons. There is no reaction at all from the planet, the terraformed planet.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I've got my mental image. So the moons are orbiting the terraformed planet and then kind of looping around the gas giant.
Yes.
And then the gas giant is orbiting the terraformed planet.
Yes, which is smaller than it.
Right.
And does not have near the gravity enough to keep a gas giant in orbit.
And then the terraformed planet, with all of this going on in its orbit, is orbiting the sun?
Yes.
Okay. That's fucking weird. Like,
it's wrong on many levels, but yes.
Maiko doesn't have the no skill to know how weird that is, but yeah. I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I do it. I walk up to the communications console and press the connect button to the station that the distressed ship is attached to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Mortel's not getting anywhere near getting anywhere near communications.
That's my job, honey.
Who's the communications officer? Not you, me. My station, my stuff. Don't touch.
I thought you talked to the ship.
I do that too. What do you want to know?
I just want to know why that little old ship is screaming for help while it's attached to a place that should be helping it.
I was going to check that.
I already would have.
All right, can we stop squabbling and just do it at this point?
Do I need to roll anything for it?
What are you just trying to do? You're trying to hail the station itself,
Yeah,
or
the hail the station and hail the ship that is asking for help.
okay. There is no response from the ship, but the the station pops up. You see an older man with a shaved head and like a Santa Clausian beard. It definitely looks like it's been growing for some time. The he's like, hello, so many visitors.
Yes, hello, sir. We're calling because you have a ship in dock that is signaling for help.
Says probably just tripped by accident. He says they're undergoing some sort of repairs while they're here.
They seem unable to respond themselves.
He says, well, he says they're on board the station, which might be why.
And so they've left all of them off the station. All of them are on the station, and they've left their own ship, and the ship is going into distress.
I mean, there might be an engineer, he says, trapped under an engine somewhere. He says, with the wrench in hand, who's not answering the communicator. I don't know.
And
They're
so,
here.
because of that, none of the other shipmates have gone over to check.
I don't think any of them are near a console. He says, you are welcome to come aboard and check yourself. He says, should I be signing you up for a refueling package while you're here?
Muting. Muting.
Maiko is staying out of sight.
The fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Like, Maiko is she's off camera. She doesn't want to be on camera. She doesn't have any business on camera. Like, she's just...
So, I will have anybody who's watching, you guys can just make a, I'm actually going to go with as a charisma and notice, because I think, or sorry, wisdom or charisma, your choice.
I'll do wisdom. I do not have a negative modifier in wisdom.
I totally forgot what these are or how to do this anymore. My brain totally
yeah, what do you want us to roll? How do I
notice? There we go.
Notice.
All right.
I got a 7.
Yeah, wisdom's higher. 5.
10.
Okay. So,
Also 10.
okay. So, Mortel and Maiko, you both, like, do you know that sensation you have when you, like, from the moment you're talking to somebody, you have the sensation that they are not all right?
Yep.
Like, all the
I've
wires
also-
are
yeah.
not connected?
It's like talking to
Yeah.
Mortel all the time.
I've also got alert, so if it's presenting any threat, my spidey senses should probably be tingling pretty hard.
Yeah, they're not tingling at the moment, but he's definitely off. Booker, you have the same sense. Like, you can't exactly put your finger on what it is. You know what I'm saying? But he seems.
Yeah, there's definitely Booker. No matter what, even if I rolled very, 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 very poorly, there's still a 100% chance Booker would be going, this is wrong. Something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Booker just doesn't know how wrong.
Maiko, not knowing that Booker is probably already there, is at her station, I guess, if there's an engineering station on the bridge. I assume there is.
Yeah.
And is, like, shooting a message over to Booker, like, something's not right. Something's off.
Pull up my slab, which is not connected to the rest of the ship, and in great big bold text type, blink 3 times if somebody's pointing a weapon at you and show the screen. We're muted, but you didn't turn the camera off.
Bites.
Booker's waiting to watch what happens with this sudden idea from Mortel.
Unless
It's
Bite's
not a
going to try and
terrible
stop
idea.
me before I finish typing.
Yeah. You see the older man, he kind of like leans in, he like looks at it, like he squints to kind of, and you see him kind of to magnify an image. And then he just bursts into laughter. He's
Okay,
like,
so
"No,
he's the problem.
I'm not fine. Or he's like, I'm fine. He says, everyone aboard is fine.
So clearly he's the problem. We're still muted, so I say this directly out loud.
Oh, are we muted?
Um,
Maiko's like slow on the uptake there.
Bite obviously being the one who didn't get this because he doesn't know people.
Yeah.
So are we signing up with a package? What are we doing? I know I normally mute so that we can talk. So
There's something wrong.
Yeah. Oh, there's something very, 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 very clearly wrong. The way he's answering the questions is one big indicative factor of that. However, that's not really the point I'm trying to make here. So, I am going to posit it to you, all three of you, and in fact, my brain is terrible with names, but Booker's is not. So I'm asking the GM.
Mortel,
what is it,
Maiko,
Isaac?
Bye.
It's not that bad.
What's the question?
What was the name of the chief engineer?
Harry?
Tobias?
Tobias, okay.
No.
Atticus.
Atticus, thank you. My brain said Asimov, and
So,
it
yeah,
knew that
he was
wrong.
not an engineer. He was just like a crew chief. The only engineer on board was Tobias, so he was the chief engineer.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about Atticus, because he's involved in this with us enough that I would have him up here on the bridge.
Yeah, he'll kind of arrive a little belatedly, you know.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, for whatever reason, it says that we should potentially check out this insanely sketchy person. Because a few things are about to happen. Either everything will be fine, which clearly no, or we're going to have to or we may have to rescue an entire crew of people who are trapped, likely being attacked or under duress in some way from the station itself.
Or we could just piss off and let this be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, that is also
I'm just
the third
saying.
option.
I mean,
This is the question of, if you were in a situation, and I look directly at Mortel when I'm saying this, and you desperately needed help, and you wanted to prove, and considering we are in a position where we want to prove to the rest of the universe that we are not in fact criminals.
Well, I would absolutely want you to rescue me.
Then we should go. Then,
Why? I'm not there.
however, you would want us to rescue you. So using that ideology in your brain, think,
well, this
if
is
I
that
would want to be
empathy
rescued,
bullshit again, isn't it, darling?
It is.
Yes, okay,
It
I
very much is.
understand the word.
So you want to be rescued.
Yes.
They want to be rescued.
Yes.
And they may reward us very nicely. I'm saying this very clearly, that part very clearly to Mortel.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially allow you on their ship and leave the ship that you think is full of pirates.
We've already got a way to do that. And I pointed to the little mining ship that we were promised
It's
at the
not
very
ready
beginning.
yet. It's not ready yet. Booker is just saying that. He does not know if that is true. It's not ready yet. So, you could either get on with their ship, potentially, after saving them and becoming their hero. Or you could leave them to die and allow us to become even more criminal in the fact, not in the eyes of the law, mind you, but in the eyes of ourselves. And we are
So what if the people that need rescuing are pirates?
In which case,
does that make us heroes? Or does that make us accessories after the fact?
The actual saving would make us a hero. Especially if a group of pirates is being held under duress by another group of pirates. Saving the other group of pirates still allows us to become heroes in that respect. Whether or not we turn in that secondary group of pirates after we are done is another question entirely.
Maiko's looking super confused.
Well, you're the captain, darling, honey. You do what
I know,
you gotta do.
but I would prefer to get everyone's opinion on this of should we go and rescue them.
No, there, I've given my opinion.
Good.
Is there a way that I could hack and maybe get a view in? Then we'll have our answer. If they're pirates, we leave, and if this is a trap, we leave. If it's not,
Of course, it's a trap. We're asking, do we risk the trap to save the people?
So GM,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry.
If it's a trap, we can just leave, and there's no people there.
So you don't actually need to hack to do that. You can do a temperature sweep along the ship, and you should be able to detect like at the close range to a refueling station. If you're close enough that if you get into close enough range, you can just do a passive temperature sweep of the ship, and you'd be able to see if there was a living life form aboard. You'd also be able to count the number of life forms aboard the refueling station. The range on that, unfortunately, is also within any weapon systems that would be on the station.
Here we go.
So GM, how low are we on fuel? Like, can we afford to just go away without fueling?
You can refuel from the sun because you have fuel scoops.
That's right.
So, but you need to send the mining ship to do that.
Oh, which would show more tell that Booker's a liar.
Is
If
Booker
he
a
sends
liar?
out the ship, if he sent out the ship
Booker
to do
just
the
said something,
mining,
doesn't know.
The mining ship was already sent out but it wasn't complete. They
Yeah.
sent the rusty.
The last life form,
GT1100.
the last life form pieces are not
Yeah.
Oh my
quite.
god, this is too complicated for me.
Yeah,
guys.
Logos is the only one who's still able to be on the
I'm
ship.
so confused.
So, yeah, Bite's gonna check it, do the checks first before they make any decision. So do the temperature check and kind of
so,
get a.
So you're having Logos move close enough to be within that range.
Is that okay with everybody?
It's going to be about an hour before you're that close.
In the meantime, and yes, it's okay with Maiko.
It is.
In the meantime, can Maiko kind of get some sort of diagnostics on the ship that's docked?
Yes.
From engineering?
Yes, you can do that through visuals and stuff like that. It is a little bit too far away to do any kind of hacking at this distance. You're able to do stuff with the asteroid when you were closer to it before. So.
Oh, I talked to the person. Was the person,
The person is still on the screen, by the way.
Yeah, but the question is, does this count as visually? I can visually and audibly detect the use of psychic powers. So can I tell through the screen whether this person is being psionically affected? I can auto do it if I'm looking at it, but we're looking through a screen, so.
Yeah.
If not, I'll hold it till we get there. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm gonna say no because
No, fair enough. Yep.
All right.
If you don't give me any rope, I can't hang everybody with it. It's all good.
Well, it's just in general, most of the psychic abilities are, limited in range and stuff like that. So
yeah, makes perfect sense. And yeah, I wouldn't expect to be able to hack a brain through a video call. That would make it way too powerful.
I think comparatively with telepathy, you need to be at tier 3 or 4 before you can start affecting somebody elsewhere in the sector.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, are you guys unmuting him?
Let's go in.
Only if Booker tells me to.
Let's go in. Let's say we would love to have I'm not going to do the air quotes right now. We would love to have the refueling package done. We will be in shortly.
Absolutely, our delight. We included with our refueling packages complimentary meals and time aboard the station where you can relax and enjoy yourself. How much fuel can I spend you off?
We need approximately 5 suns worth.
We would like to have 12 units worth of fuel put into the tank.
I assume you're ordering enough to fill up completely, so that you could immediately leave if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and myself and another member or two would be perfectly happy to meet you on the station.
He says, "Oh, excellent, more visitors." He says, "Do you have any allergies?" He says, "Dietary preferences?"
None that I am currently aware of.
He says, "No vegans or anything aboard?"
Space doesn't exactly allow you to be picky.
He says, "That is very true." He says, "I have fried a mean cockroach a time or two."
I'd like to
I'm
pretend I
allergic
haven't.
to cockroach.
But
Just, you wouldn't believe the things I've had in my mouth.
I think
Honey.
we all can believe what you've had in your mouth.
he says, "Well, let me go." He says, "Get dinner working." He says, "And your fuel prepared." He says, "I will see you," he says, "in a few hours."
Excellent. See you then.
He logs off with comparative excitement.
Mortel, you're coming with me. I want to be able to have as much intel on this person as possible. And
Oh,
you want to be
hell
able to...
yes. I want another brain to look at. Y'all are getting boring.
Is it possible he's just really lonely?
No! I'm picking up cannibal vibes.
There, yes, Bite is so confused right now.
Cannibal vibes?
Me is picking up cannibal vibes. I don't know if Booker is.
I thought you said that in
Booker's that,
character, and I think Michael was just like, people do that?
Yes.
I would have
They
put a
most certainly
content
do.
warning on the episode. Just say.
It's, "Oh, look, visitors, we're so happy to have you. The other people just can't seem to get to the phone at the moment, but don't worry. Don't worry, we'll get you a nice selection of long pig. I mean, just regular pig to have and eat and have a lovely time with."
I'm getting Bendy and the Ink Machine vibes from that. Like, super.
Yes.
Anyway.
Local
Right.
Zambezi tribe
So,
called it long pig. Never much
would
cared for
like-
it myself.
I would like Bite to make 2 program rolls for her sensor checks as you guys are on the approach.
All right.
Go on, Fred.
Intelligence. First one's a 12. And 12.
Oh,
Okay.
2 12s.
All right. So, there is an unusual amount of debris within this system. And it isn't coalesced into like an asteroid field or something as it would if it was, from an expected source. Now, obviously, gravity is probably getting heavily thrown off from whatever is going on with that planet and that gas giant. But as you are, passing through the system and on approach to the refueling station, you realize that the unusual amount of debris is an unusual number of ships. There is a treasure load of salvage floating in the system. And the secondary program roll is so that you can begin to figure out what did it. They don't show obvious signs of like weapons damage or impacts or anything like that. But there are some of them that you are getting the kind of like instantly dead radiation readings still on the hull.
I need an adult. I need an adult now.
What is Maiko able to discern anything about these as well, or what?
From the images of the ships that you're seeing, most of them do not look as though they have been damaged. They also share similar designs. It looks like they might have been manufactured locally or near here.
So they're just adrift?
They're just adrift.
This isn't creepy. This isn't creepy at all.
This very much feels like one of those space vampire lairs you just walk into.
and we're walking right into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gonna turn around to whoever's still in brain totally just blanked on the name of this room. Oh
Bridge.
well, bridge.
Bridge,
Thank
yes.
you. And just okay. So the ships were all destroyed by radiation. There's
Oh, what an awful way to go.
Just radiation.
just radiation.
Atticus says, "Is there something wrong with the sun?"
Can I roll for that?
Yes.
What do I roll for this? Can I roll program?
I will.
no?
Yeah. Do it. Yeah, I'll let you do a program roll. You're going to be accessing Logos's archives. He's pulling stuff up rapidly.
10.
Second. There is indeed something wrong with the sun. It is undergoing a transition from a yellow star into a red giant. In the process, it is periodically and unpredictably throwing out massive amount of radiation that those ships appear not to have been designed to absorb.
I'm immediately turning around and putting in the command to stop all movement. And if not, to turn us around. Like trying to get Logos get us out of here.
Logos is like, they do not have spike drives. We do. We are built for radiation shielding. These were local ships. Says, we should be able to be shielded against it.
But does that mean the base is shielded?
It says the refueling station, it's pre-mandated, absolutely would have been. It says those stations aren't built here. They arrive here after a trip through spike space.
Okay.
He says, believe me, I can protect you here.
Here. Not if we go down there.
I can protect you in this system from that sun.
Okay.
Says that radiation, however, he says, would have hit that planet multiple times.
That's what I'm worried about.
So what you're saying is that there is something wrong with the sun.
Yes. It's going from being what it is right now, and it's going to expand exponentially even bigger into a red giant.
Oh.
Fantastic.
So that means everyone on the planet is dead.
Not yet.
If
They may have very severe radiation poisoning. And might...
It's also possible that whatever arrangement is created, that unusual configuration, he says, is providing some kind of shielding. Says the gas giant, if it was in the way when the radiation was turned off, would have absorbed the bulk of it.
Does the ship that's throwing out the distress signal have the kind of shielding it would need?
Yes, it does. However, it shows you don't have to make an engineering roll for this. You can tell that it has clearly been in combat.
Michael will
This
share
is
that with the rest of the. It's got
This is the planet that all the
but...
pirates were running away from, wasn't it?
Is it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, that explains that.
Atticus is like, I would leave the system too if I had a way to.
Yeah. Well, let's
We
refuel,
do,
go on
honey.
this nature adventure, and then...
So, if the sun is sending out spikes of radiation and we get closer to it for refueling, will that change anything about our situation, like about our shielding? Will we be more susceptible to it?
He says our shielding is generated as opposed to a plating. He says, and it's designed to resist the radioactive energies that exist in spike space, which are intense and considerable in long term. Says there's a reason it is considerably cheaper to manufacture a ship to simply move through a sector as opposed to spike space. And says it appears that most of these ships were designed for that purpose.
Well, there's a refueling station right there that we already have a deal with for dump billion gallons of fuel. Why don't we pop in there and pick all that up, see if there's any problems, and whether there is or not, we can piss off before the sun goes boom again.
So you changed your mind? Like,
That's what they're for, honey. I can't talk you out of it, so I want to get this done quick and get the hell out of here before that thing goes boom again.
Maiko's just gonna look around to the others. Shrug. He's not wrong.
Captain Darling, just you and I, so that if you fuck this up, the two of them can get away?
Well, that's unless anyone else wants to join us, but it's currently the plan.
Well, Captain, if we're inclined to help the ship that's sending out a distress signal, they're gonna need repairs.
We also have ample room on our ship should repairs prove impossible.
Do you want me to go with you to assess whether or not repairs are gonna be needed or possible?
Are you offering?
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to come along.
Okay.
Where would I be better used?
I feel you'd be best in the situation where you have access to most computing technology and potentially the assistance of a smart and friendly AI.
Okay, I'll stay.
Like what? Jesus. No. Did I hear me right?
Nope, I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Given the situation with the sun, says let's just put a pin in that conversation for later. But I would
That is
like to
my
have
point.
that conversation later.
Sure.
Okay. So let's rock and roll. Right? That's how it goes. Let's rock and roll. I read that somewhere.
It's a little classical music for me, but yeah, sure, let's do it.
I read it. I don't know, somewhere.
All right. So as you are getting close, Bite, I'm going to give you one more roll for sensor checks.
What about me checking over the ships and stuff? Or the ship?
Yeah, you can make a fixed roll.
$11.
Okay. So you are
14.
there is multiple people aboard the ship and multiple people that are aboard the station. The people that are aboard the station seem to be largely on one side of it, like sequestered to a small area of the station as a whole. And then the people that are on board the ship are also sequestered into specific areas. Does that make sense? Like they don't seem to be roaming the ship as a whole, but given the damage, that isn't necessarily conclusive to anything.
But there is somebody on the damaged ship.
There's multiple somebodies, yes. There is 7 to 8 people in one area, 7 to 8 people in another area, and 1 person roaming free away from those two, like, sequestered areas. The other thing that your sensor indicates is that the entire refueling station, near all of the fueling bays, there are explosives. They are primed and armed, but not on countdown.
Self-destruct mechanism.
Yeah,
I give them that information.
a fairly crude self-destruct mechanism, but would definitely get the job done.
Scuttling. Yeah.
Well, then I suggest we take a small ship as opposed to the big one.
Yeah, if you don't want to, well, you're gonna have to dock to refuel, unless you want
Never
to
mind.
ferry a lot of fuel back and forth on the,
Well-
the cargo lifters.
I was under the impression we were going to go over and have a look first and then only send in the big ship if it was safe to do so.
Yep, that was the plan.
I'm sure that bureaucratic little shit would like us to sign some paperwork and make sure we can pay for everything.
Absolutely. Because this is how things normally work. Let's see how things work. And Booker is already heading down towards one of the shuttles.
There's the cargo lifters, and then there's only one like proper shuttle. That was the one that you actually came in on from the battleship. All of the relevant, like black box numbers and whatnot from it have been changed, so they're no longer broadcasting, Armada ship.
Right. Yeah.
Can we take somebody who can fly this ship?
Yeah. Do you want to have Nico fly?
Can we have Nico tag along, please?
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Absolutely.
As soon as we get moving, there's a change in Mortel. They go quiet and they just kind of go into like a full lotus position, sitting in a chair, eyes closed, breathing very, very slowly.
And then before we completely get going, is there any additional information I got with my 14 on Fix?
Oh, okay. So yeah, you have a pretty good idea of exactly the kind of fight that they were in. It looks like they engage. So the ship itself is relatively minimally armed, and it looks like mostly what it was fighting against was like fighter vessels. The ship was depressurized in a number of places, and it also looks like it took a hit to the spike drive, but not one that set it off, like one that disabled it.
Can I tell if the weapons that attacked it match what the pirates were flying? Like
very similar. It might have been the same crew. It might have been a similar crew.
I think it was attacked by pirates. It looks like it was. Maiko's gonna convey all of that information over to Booker and Bite and Mortel if he cares.
Always cares, just doesn't always look like it.
So
Booker takes note.
Yeah.
Doesn't really know what to do with this note. He puts it in the stack of papers of, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing with these in his brain.
Just so you all know, it's probably what was, at least it wasn't damaged by the station, probably.
All right, so you've got 4 aboard the shuttle, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Nico, Booker, Martel, and Maiko.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Nothing against Bite. We just don't think Bite will be very good in a combat situation.
Would they have? Would Bite have full access from the shuttle?
Wouldn't have the same processing power available,
Okay.
but given that Bite hacked into a battleship on, in its hull, it probably wouldn't matter too much.
Yeah.
Out of character, I'm totally fine with Bite coming. I am totally fine with Bite staying, depending on what
Bite's gonna do whatever everyone tells him to do, cause...
Yeah, look, I'm not trying to dictate what Bite should do. The Bite will be shot.
That's why he asked. He's like, where do you need me best? I don't know where to go.
In this situation, it's not like you're not going to be part of the upcoming scene, right? You can hack and you can do all kinds of shit from a distance, so...
Yeah.
It's not like we've dropped you out of the scene, right?
Maiko's totally gonna open up a group chat. Data pad.
And Bite's going to quickly secure it.
Yeah.
Booker, before giving access to Mortel, tell the access to the group chat. We'll let Bite secure it and make sure that it's only partial
I don't have access
to
to it anyway. My slab is shut off to all external contact.
the individual data slabs have the power to make contact with other data slabs. So
Okay.
you can accept the request.
Oh,
Or you can-
I specifically said I put mine in airplane mode last time, so yeah. Nothing in, nothing out.
Okay.
I got a secret in there.
Okay.
Where's hell yours isn't working?
It's okay, honey. I'm right here.
Okay.
Right, and psychic. Psychic.
The shuttle floats across. There's no debris or anything like that to make it a particularly challenging flight. So he's still not quite as smooth and familiar with the system as Logos is, but there's like a bit of a scrape when you finally connect. It's like, oh, sorry, used to the forks.
You're doing the best with what you got. Good job, Nico.
May the forks be with you.
Way better than me.
Like Booker gives him a good pat on the back, kind of you did good.
Yeah, and Nico to Mike was like, don't worry, any flight that gets you there in one piece, it's a good one.
Appreciate that.
And the airlock slides open, and the captain of the refueling station is there. He is missing 3 out of 4 limbs. They've been replaced by clear mechanical replacements.
Hey, look, twinsies.
His are definitely a lot more of the sort of you could screw the hand off quite visibly and screw the new one back on. But he's a larger set man, big smile, and he's like, so many people for dinner. This is going to be lovely.
So
many
now
people
that we're
for
here,
dinner.
Now that we're here, is he under psychic control or psionic control?
No.
Nope. Okay.
He is not. He says, since you said there weren't any allergies, he says, and someone was allergic. Oh, no, you didn't hear the thing about the cockroach. So since you said there were no allergies, he says, I've gone ahead. He says, and got my jambalaya started. He says, but he says, whoever's going to be doing the refueling, if you want me to do it, I can. He says, but it might push dinner off another hour.
No, don't worry. We brought our lovely little engineer. Also, we came to make sure that we could sign everything, dot our T's, cross our I's, all that stuff.
He says, the credits is fine if you have them. He says, there's not a lot of paperwork. He says, happening out here. He says, but the package, he says, does give you a discount on your next trip through.
We might want to sign that up.
Out of character, I don't think we have credits on hand, but I think we have barter, don't we?
Yeah, you do. You haven't worked out a barter with him yet.
Okay, well.
Unfortunately, we don't have credits, but we have a system of bartering that we can potentially talk you through.
Ooh, this is what you have to offer.
Booker starts walking with him, essentially, trying to go over some of the stuff that has available.
Yeah, he says, well, we're always in need of some replacement parts, he says, and the parts to make more replacement parts would be even better. He says, if you have some seed stock, he says, I'd be very interested in that. He says, expand the garden. He says, add a few new things.
I don't think we have
seed
stock.
You do, actually, because you have a hydroponics lab.
Oh.
You have, some 30, 40 different types of vegetables growing.
Oh,
okay.
And we have enough to spare?
Yeah, the seed stock is, it's all frozen, and it's got, printed pages with, 1,000 seeds on it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, they basically, and the pages that they're printed in are, gelatinous, and they dissolve in water. So, can't really grow much without water, so it's an easy thing to get access to. And it also makes it easier to trade and move around.
Yeah. I'm still getting major cannibal vibes off this dude. I don't know.
I just saw the jambalaya in chat.
Yeah, and I know. And yeah, I'll see if my internet can fix. I don't know. Just do the next scene without me as much as possible.
Okay. So, you are headed in the direction that on the thermal scan you could see was where the other people were. But like the hallway that you're moving through doesn't have a view of them. Does that make sense? And he seems to be, leading the way towards whatever he has in mind.
When I look around, does it look like we're being funneled? In other words, are all the other doors closed? Is there people standing in hallways looking ominous at the end of hallways if I try and scoot down
Haven't
one?
seen anybody else yet. You've just seen him.
In that case, after you, Captain Darling.
Oh, Booker, while was on the flight, was also testing how quickly can I pull my knife out. And just timing himself and trying to do better each time. He is not trusting anything.
So Maiko's on her data slab, kind of pulling up inventory, or at least under the guise of pulling up inventory, and is like in communication with Byte. Asking, hey, can you see where we're headed? Tell me about where we're going. Any change? Like, sort of trying to keep in communication back and forth.
Yeah. In general, it looks like you're headed towards a larger open area that could very easily be a gallery or a kitchen. But it doesn't have any particular like heat signatures or anything on it that are easy to read. If you want to hack into the system and risk potential discovery, you'll be able to see quite a bit more.
Yeah, I'm not muted.
Do what you do. We trust you.
He's just kind of getting worried.
You can also try hacking into the other ship to see if they have cameras and stuff aboard and see what's going on with that.
Yeah, he'll start doing what he does best, which is hacking, and he'll hack the smaller ship first to get any information from them, and then he'll start trying to be more stealthy about it, hacking the refueling station.
Okay.
If it helps, Maiko will be outright asking, like, hey, Byte, can you see anything on cameras yet?
So I'll do my first roll for the little ship. I got a 12.
Okay. Yeah, it's not got a very sophisticated defense. It looks like it was just like it is clearly like a refitted trade ship. And when you get into the systems, you can see that there is one person that is moving around that is dressed very unusually. You have never seen a Lost Worlder before, so to you it looks like they are a cave person. I'm talking like loincloth, dirty, matted hair, kind of creeping around like close to the ground. And there are cameras that are inside of the other two enclosed areas that show like 8, 9 more people similarly dressed, and also shackled. The one that is creeping around is smaller and appears to have slipped their shackles.
He'll send it back to Maiko and be like, do you know about people who look like cavemen?
Do I know about a people that look like cavemen, GM?
You know what Lost Worlders are. You've never probably met any of them.
What's a Lost Worlder?
It's a world that lost all technology during the Scream.
Oh.
Like primitively living, usually simple agrarian or hunter-gatherer existences. Sometimes we might get up to the civilization level of like the Middle Ages, but for the most part, they're the kinds that are gonna like see ships see ships descending and think they're being taken by gods.
Oh. So
They've
Michael,
already been taken by their gods.
Michael's gonna convey to Bite. Can Michael see the camera feed? Like, is that being shared or?
He will if he can. Is that allowed?
Yeah.
And
No.
they're humans?
Mhm.
Or are they different? Okay.
Yeah, the one that's creeping around looks like she might be like 11 or 12.
So Maiko's gonna convey, with her thumb power, that, these are people who, are technology-less, essentially. They were probably not spacebound on their planet, and the fact that they're shackled, given Maiko's background, would it be too much of a leap to wonder if they were taken against their will?
Hierarchy of Ball, absolutely not. They have no issue with slavery.
Also, content warning, I suppose.
Yeah, sorry, we should probably add that into the chat.
I mean, we've been talking about cannibalism for a while now.
I'm just gonna go ahead and. Oh, that was.
That's not ours. We need one. It's not what we have. Oops. That is not our trigger warning.
Our content warning involves slavery and cannibalism. Enjoy.
Yeah, that should be it.
Among other things, probably death, maybe.
Lots of death, probably. So yeah, Bite will just make sure to like share that information and also share. I'm still trying to work on the bigger one. I'm trying to be a little bit more quieter on that. Give me a moment.
Be very, very careful.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. This looks almost
Bad?
like something very bad.
Very bad.
You,
Agreed.
Booker and Mortel are being led into the galley area. It is a galley. There's definitely, a stew being cooked atop the stove. Maiko had been staying behind to like be doing the refueling and stuff, right? Or
Yeah,
get that
she's
prepped.
kind of like, yeah. If that's
She isn't it?
if that's needed.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh no. We're losing Kevin. Also, Kevin, can we have our own content warning at some point?
Yes, I realized I changed it when I changed it to the one for the new show. So I thought there was one, but I don't remember what it is. I'll have to look.
Yes.
CWGT would probably be the logical one, but I put it on my list.
So Michael is sort of
We had one.
hanging back.
Sorry.
And I completely just spaced my train of thought. Maiko's doing the thing.
Okay. Nico is with you, kind of staying by the shuttle.
Okay.
So. And looking a little nervous.
Booker,
So
before having left, did slide Nico a nice big gun.
Yeah,
but not one for Maiko.
Tries to kind of like hide it behind him, And the moment,
it's not that he doesn't want to give one to
Maiko,
Maiko, he just kind of went, just in case.
Yeah, and the moment the captain and Martell are out of sight, he looks down at Maiko and he's like, "Do you know how to turn the safety on this?"
I don't think I do.
I got a 14 to hack into the refueling station.
Hot damn!
So the big difficulty is that it looks like this refueling station has been undergoing 10 to 15 years worth of customized changes to the programming. Like the kind of thing that somebody does when they don't really understand the program that's there and they build something to do what they need. Does that make sense? Through just trial and error and blunt force trauma. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So a lot of it is kind of like, I have never seen a code line like that before. And wow, if they knew how to code, they could have done that in like a tenth of the effort. But
One of the lines is just "help me" in binary.
there are a few places where it looks like somebody might have smashed their head against a keyboard multiple times. So
all right, this is gonna take a lot more work than I was expecting.
They probably don't even know what a code comment is.
No. And he's just going to do that too, continuously. Just be like, "You could done this easier."
Might I suggest?
Yeah, might I suggest this?
Does Bite have to continually roll not to fix it?
So, however, the most disturbing part is that the guy's dead man switch for the shuttle self-destructing is tied to cyberware in his effectively cybernetic pacemaker. His heart stops beating, the entire station goes up. You're not sure what would happen if you got rid of the program connecting those two, because you don't know what's going on inside of the explosives themselves.
Message is being sent immediately to Maiko, Booker, Mortel, all of them. It is like the biggest red alert of, you cannot kill this guy, you will die.
Booker sends a quick message back. Just, Maiko, check what's in the bombs. Bite, start looking at how to disconnect that very delicately.
And Mortel didn't get the message because they're still in airplane mode.
Okay. Is there a way for Maiko to investigate
Give
these
this
bombs?
guy a heart attack.
The bombs are on the outside of the station. Somebody installed them while wearing a vac suit.
And what does Maiko wear everywhere?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, going on to the outside of the station might be the kind of thing that would get noticed.
Not if he's caught up with cooking. Hello? Okay, so Maiko is going to convey that to the group chat, well, the bombs are on the outside of the station, and they don't appear to be wired into the station in such a way that I can get to them without being noticed. I would need something of a distraction to get out there without anyone seeing me, and even that, I don't know, I'm just a little nervous about that.
You go, I can go with you too. I spacewalked money.
Does he have a vac suit on, right now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So Maiko's going to convey that, we could go, we just would probably be noticed, and I'm not sure how much information we could gather from the outside.
Booker messages back, Bite, would you be so kind as to change a couple of those zeros into ones?
I mean, I don't fully know what it would do in this.
Exactly. Neither will they. They'll think it'll be a program error of their horrific code, if I've understood this correctly.
No, it's pretty much nightmarish.
So sorry, Bite. I believe in you.
Let's go. Ooh.
What specifically is going to be your intent here, Bite?
I'm going to just try and program in effectively fixing one of their things that may cause a cascade that will just not shut the system down, but just kind of make it work much slower. So they're having internal lag.
So here's the thing: the setup of the programming looks to you like a dead man switch, which works not in I send out a signal and it sets off the explosives, but if I don't receive the signal periodically, I explode.
Yeah, he's
Wait.
not touching that aspect. He's just
So
He-
what I'm
he's gonna
saying
look
is
for
a
something
cascade
else.
failure that shuts things down may have catastrophic consequences.
okay.
Yeah, if it shuts down the receiver and it doesn't get its message because of that, we all go boom.
This is my out of character thing. That
That's
this
why
is
I
something
was
Bite
speaking in out of
might.
character voice, because Mortel's like, "We got this. We're in control. Shit's fine."
Yeah,
Um,
this is literally what Booker might suggest, which is not what Booker would suggest, because this is what I would suggest. Something where you manage to find out what that signal is that's being sent periodically.
And copy it.
Copy, paste it, make it so it's being sent constantly.
Okay, so from the ship, possibly.
Just use the Photoshop clone tool.
Yeah, Bite's smart enough to do that.
But first,
I am not.
And
So,
Control C.
but
So-
first, you have to
Control
buy
V.
premium.
So,
It's gonna
okay,
cost
so
you
make your
10
make
credits
your
a month for
programming roll.
premium before you can use all the features.
6! Oh
you get a reroll once per day because you're an expert.
no! Yay! Okay, good. Oh my lord, that's like a
It's
heart
a
attack
horrific. Yeah.
out of 11. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, so there's like a moment where you're kind of like typing through and you're like, wait, that is going to do the exact opposite of what I want. But after you kind of like switch it and realize that they're really bad about decimal points, the delay between the dead man switch going off and the explosives going off, you've changed it from like a microsecond before the explosives will trigger if they're not receiving the code to several hours. You just add a lot of zeros.
And I would like to click this button, and now it is 2 years.
Okay, so Bite helps.
I am
But
helping.
like Teddy is kind of like sitting nearby, like, do you need a coffee or maybe more moonshine?
No to the moonshine,
Valium?
yes to the coffee.
I'll get some coffee.
Poor Bite is so stressed.
Y'all work him hard.
All because Booker wants to maybe murder someone.
So that Booker has the option.
Speaking of the someones, where did we end up when Booker and I headed down the hall with the other guy?
In a galley that actually smells remarkable.
Yeah. But was I had to step away. Are there people in here? You said
No,
this is
there's
where the
just-
sources
there's
were coming from.
This is where the heat source is in like a hallway that's like a little bit over. Does that make
Okay.
sense? You didn't have any windows as you went by. You had the concern about being funneled, but your alert sense hasn't really gone off, other than the
Yeah.
kind of there's a low level of dread which was explained by the explosives.
Yep.
But your general sense of danger is not like tripping like crazy. Does that make sense?
Yep. And
Booker
just
is more
to be
on
clear,
edge than
you
when he
gave me
shot a
more
CEO in the
information than I
face.
was actually entitled to.
I'm aware, and I'm fine. with it. Like, I
just to be that guy.
But he he's like opening up a couple spice cabinets and very excitedly talking to Booker the entire time about like what kind of seed stock you have. Does that make sense? Like, no, we've got peppers. Do you have bananas? I could really use some plantains.
At the moment we don't have. The moment we only have plantains. We don't have bananas.
I will definitely be willing to throw those in for part of the trade. Kind of immediately launches into like something else that he's looking for.
No, normally we have a surplus of broccoli, but we can only maybe do about half that broccoli. Maybe fill the rest with cauliflower.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Ooh, broccaflower, the worst of both worlds. It's a real thing. It's awful.
He's like, if I knew you were, says an aficionado, he says, I have a wonderful recipe for Brussels sprouts. Says with a little maple sugar, some time in the oven.
And Booker is nodding along, like, yes, I understand all of this. Not trying not to think about the last time he ate part of his shoe, because it was 3 days since he had last gone in for rations.
Yeah. but he does seem very absorbed in what he's doing at the moment. Just like the discussion of food and vegetables and whatnot. It seems, he's like, don't let me just trade everything away, he says, without getting some other useful supplies, he says, but I'm very excited, he says, some upgrades to the hydroponics.
So Booker thinks he's sliding up to this as delicately as possible. But he's not. Because he's Booker. Where's everyone else? Jacob. So, I just haven't seen anyone else here. Where are they?
Actually,
where are they at the moment?
Mortel is watching this response.
Booker is just, where are people?
He says come aboard. He says they're staying in the quarters. He says that it offered them until their ship has been repaired.
Maiko,
he says,
Maiko can't hear that.
I can invite them, he says, for dinner if you'd like. He says, but they are not company. He says, I think everybody would be particular to. He says, I am not in a position, he says, to be a beggar.
Now Mortel turns and is looking expectantly at Captain Booker. See how they respond to that.
So this is just reiterating. Everyone's in their quarters. And he can invite them, but he's not certain that we'll all get along.
Mm-hmm. And you and I haven't seen the Lost World yet, right?
No, but Booker knows about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you know what their profession was?
He says, I do. He says, they are traders. He says, of flesh.
What exactly is in the jambalaya we are going to be eating today?
Oh, God, that's disgusting. No, he says, we have a bacon substitute. He says, we grow in the hydroponics lab. He says, says they're slavers. He says, slavers who trade in live slaves.
Different content warning.
Says,
No, we mentioned that.
No, I wouldn't. No, I take my hospitality very seriously. This is a refueling station, sir. Says, we are dependent upon repeat business, he says, both for our solvency, he says, and our sanity. He says, there are not many people that come through the backwaters, he says, and quite frankly, slavers that are here, he says, they are doing those people on that planet a favor.
So you know about the sun?
I was here, he says, when they built, he says, their escape shuttles. He says, we tried to get, he says, out of the system.
Booker knows that he has hours, not microseconds. If he were to. Mortel?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm the etiquette droid. Beep, beep, and all that, honey.
Not quite. Would you mind coming over?
I think we should invite these fine people to dinner. And I think we should have a nice chat with these fine people.
Actually, Mortel, I was going to ask. And Booker quickly writes down a note and pins it to Mortel's lapel. And goes, would you please give Maiko this note?
I can do that, but I'm still real interested in these people.
So am I.
And by the way, if this is for Maiko and I unpin it and I pin it to my hip.
Now that way you don't have to remove it, okay.
And I can show them how it looks in 3D. And then come back to serious.
Just,
Yeah, he does kind of like he moves over to the fridge that's in the area, and he opens up, kind of like gestures within to the freezer, particularly. And you can see like looks like slabs of bacon and
Oh, so he's just trying to show that yes, no, this is not human meat.
wait.
Yeah. Booker sends Mortel away. Mortel can, of course, read the note, which just says, get every Lost Worlder off of that ship onto ours."
They're on here, though. They're not on their ship, right?
The Lost Worlders.
The Lost
Oh, the
Worlds are
slave,
still
the
on
slavers are
slave
here.
ship.
The slaves are on the ship.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you meant now, Captain Darling. Of course. Oh. Where's Michael?
This is the thing that's going to be a bit of a repeat of what happened to me in the other place. But this time, I'm not going to lose an arm.
I go and find Michael, hand Michael the note, and say, Captain Darling seems to have a plan. I don't think I like it. And I head for the ship full of slaves.
Maiko opens the note and then her eyes go super wide. She's like, "Oh boy."
Get the slaves off on that ship now, fast as possible.
She's going to convey the note to Bite. Like, Captain says, get the Lost Worlders off of that ship, ASAP or whatever ASAP.
It just says now.
Less letters. I always wondered about that. Why ASAP when you could just write now? Oh, yeah.
Now.
Okay.
I don't know. ASAP is also one
it's like
syllable
of all
more.
the words to shorten, why did we shorten at into something that takes as long to write as typing at? Yeah. All right.
So,
Because if you just say "do the sap," it just sounds like you're insulting someone.
so two notes. The containers that the slaves are in they're basically cargo containers that have been refitted to have, an air supply and temperature and whatnot. But it's actually built into the cargo container itself. Which also means that they can be disengaged and moved by one of the cargo forks. And are actually designed to do that so that somebody could drop off a box full of them and then somebody else could pick it up.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
not if Mortel gets there first.
if Maiko,
I don't know how far behind Maiko is,
but there's still one Lost Worlder that's aboard the ship that's escaped from the cargo container. So,
and Maiko knows this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maiko is going to kind of hurry after and like hold up a finger to her partner in crime in the back suit, and then hurry after Mortel and be like, wait, hang on. And as she's like talking to Mortel, she's also typing on her pad into the group chat, like, this is a very bad idea, like all in caps. This is a very bad idea.
Quick pause. I'm assuming from the way you've been describing that Martell is kind of, on a quick, steady pace towards the Lost World ship, right?
Yep.
So, I want you to make a wisdom and notice roll, and Maiko, since you're kind of keeping pace with them, you can do so as well.
She's like running after him, like.
Can I do intelligence instead?
No, because I think wisdom is kind of specifically denoted for physical awareness.
Okay.
So.
Okay, what is a notice roll you said?
Street smarts versus book smarts.
With wisdom? Yes?
Yes, with wisdom.
Okay. 7.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of wisdom.
So Mortel doesn't notice, but Maiko does, that the ship is parked basically down the hallway from the area where the slavers' quarters is. Does that make sense? And Maiko can see out of the corner of her eyes the doors of the slavers' quarters areas going up.
She's gonna reach out and literally grab the back of Mortel's, like, jacket, pants, whatever she can reach, and yank, like, and just like completely out of character, like physically try to like stop him from getting himself in trouble with that ship.
What are you doing, honey?
They're coming out.
Oh, good.
No, stop. There's a better way to do this. And also, it's a really bad idea.
You want to make those bad bastards down there go away? How about I let all these nice folks out over here, and our problem sort of deals with its own self, doesn't it?
What? No! Martel, they have no defenses. They have sticks and stones compared to laser guns. What are you doing? You're going to get
But there's
these people
containers and
slaughtered.
containers and containers of them.
But you're going to get them slaughtered. And then where will they go?
Well, there's damn else all I can do.
You can let them go. You can think it through, at least. You can not pit them against traitors that are going to kill them.
Are you guys... I assume you're both trying to keep your voices down as you're having this argument in the hallway. I will have you both making a wisdom and sneak roll to continue to do so.
Okay.
There's -4 on this, right? Because I'm not have sneak as a skill.
If you don't have the skill, it's just a -1, not a -4.
-1, okay, so 7. Yeah, okay.
But if you rolled your sneak and wisdom and you don't have the skill, then it should automatically incorporate that -1.
Yeah, it did.
So
yeah.
okay.
I just for some reason I thought it was -4, not -1.
5.
Okay.
So, I assume that Maiko is rather passionate about this and not doing great at keeping her voice.
And you can both hear footsteps on the walk, on the hallway coming in your direction.
I think I don't know. I don't know if Maiko would even notice the footsteps. I don't know if she's like caught up with trying to talk Mortel out of it.
Mortel did. I dropped down to one knee, so I'm looking Maiko in the eyes. Don't you dare tell them I did this. And I turn around and start walking towards where the slavers are coming from.
Wait, no. What?
Adjusting my hat, undoing a couple buttons, just getting ready to go. Not drawing my weapon. That's not going to work.
Which weapon?
Any of them.
Mortel is nothing if not a highly noticeable with choosing.
Oh yes, yes.
So
and sashaying like the catwalk walk towards them like they're an audience, not a threat.
Okay.
Just totally trying to go for the confusion / intimidation, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know if I have this skill.
Maiko is confused and intimidated already.
Nope.
Okay.
Perform -1. But this is Mortel's brain, right? They think through everything. They look like an emotional creature and they use emotions to get people to do stuff, but everything is getting processed through the logic bomb. They've got people that hate them, so they get left alone. They've got the computer and the other system to cut them out so they can do shit that nobody's watching. The whole time they've been playing this game. So,
okay. I would like you both to make a intelligence and connect roll.
6.
7. These dice are fired.
So the 7 actually gets it. Maiko gets a brief kind of glance at the slavers. You have this like kind of limited memories of like your time in the hierarchy of ball and stuff like that, and so it's unusual for you that the tattoos seem to flash memory in your mind. You remember being aboard a bridge that you've never seen before, and there's somebody like kind of leaning against the communications array, sounding irritated as he talks. He's got green skin and he's your height, like which is extremely unusual for you to have met anybody that's like that. It stands out. But the person that he's talking to on the screen has an identical array of tattoos across her neck and her arms. And you remember the communications closing down and him kind of turning like, we've got to go. We don't want to mess with cartel.
Remind me of who the cartel is. Can you please?
She doesn't. She does not like remember his name. Like she didn't have any experience with it beforehand, and they don't have like a large enough reputation that it's like a everybody knows kind of thing. It's people who have connections in the underworld and whatnot. This is not a lone group, but she is very certain this is not a lone group of snipers.
Okay, and the person, the green-skinned person, didn't have the same tattoos. It was who they were
not
talking
at all.
to. Okay.
Right.
So, so Maiko is just like extremely worried for Mortel and extremely worried for her friends. Like, she's like, no, Mortel, no, and like she's gonna like try to reach out and grab him again.
Get them out of here, honey.
If you do that, you will be noticed by the slavers. They don't seem to have noticed you yet, but they have noticed Mortel.
Oh, okay. Then, I made a roll as to whether she acts or freezes, and I got acts, so I'm like, okay, what's she gonna do? So she's going to, run for the captain. Then she's going to, like, just flat out run away from where Mortel is to where Booker disappeared off to.
Okay. All right. So the slaver is kind of an interesting combination of like masculine and physical traits. They have memories, but they also have very masculine build to their arms. And their face also seems to be sort of like a mix genetically of like masculine and feminine cheekbones and chin, and they have like cornrows on one half of their head and the other half is shaved, and the top all seems to be loose and almost like waist length. And looks Mortel up and down, kind of like, you the one answering our distress call?
Oh, honey, you know all about how this place works. And I want you to know we got the captain at gunpoint in the other room. So if one little hair on my pretty little head gets hurt, this whole station goes ka-fucking-boom. Now you want to talk like a nice person, or you gonna be rude, you little shit? And I don't even stop stride, just walking right towards him the whole time.
They don't break. They don't flinch. Are you actually going to impact with them?
I will walk right up until I'm so close he can't focus on me.
Yeah, they stiffen, you know what I'm saying? And then relax in a way that you've read for like the body language of people who very much know their way around close combat and have no problem with it.
Yep.
That alone tells you like their degree of training is like they're ready to take you apart if you make it a point. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah, hands are nowhere near my weapons. I'm here to talk, not fight.
So am I. So why don't you rephrase your earlier statement so that I'm not forced to take offense?
I don't know why you would take offense with such a simple statement of fact. So, why the hell have you not turned off the alarm on that ship?
Because the captain that you have at gunpoint continually sabotages our goddamn ship so we can't get out of here.
Well, look at that. Now we're talking. See, we should have just started with this and a drink at the beginning, don't you think, honey?
Talking. So talk.
Well, my little friends up at the front of this here ship, the ones that got the gun pointed at the captain right now, they don't much like slavery and all that. Now, I couldn't give a shit one way or another. Money's money and all that.
Oh,
But
well,
there's going
if
to
I'm going
be
to
a...
offend somebody's feelings, absolutely let me stop doing what I do for a profit.
Oh, good. Then you do understand. Get in your little ship. Get the fuck off this base. And go find yourself a whole bunch of new slaves. These ones are fucking spoken for.
Is that so?
That is so.
Okay, go ahead and roll initiative.
I roll twice and pick the higher of the two. So.
Yes. Also, your alert goes off. You're aware
Yeah.
that that statement definitely was
Oh,
your
yeah.
intention.
Oh, yeah. No question. A 5 and a 4. This is not good. Nope, that's not good at all.
You do add your dexterity to it, but I assume that's already counted.
I assume that it automatically did it.
Okay.
No, but I did because my dex is 0. So yeah.
Okay. One second.
Does Michael get to the captain before this, or
Now
what?
you all about to thump little old me just
There's-
for standing
no,
here talking.
So when I'm in combat,
Yeah.
conversation is an action and has a limited number of words. So
Okay. Yep.
Does Michael
Okay.
get to the captain while this is happening?
so everybody else can go roll initiative for as well.
9.
Okay.
All right.
So
What do I roll for initiative? I'm sorry.
5.
so Booker, until you hear something you're effectively not in the combat, but that will be your initiative score going forward.
Up on the quick menus, one of the buttons is initiative.
I'm rolling physical dice.
Initiative is
It is a
1d10
D8 plus your dex score.
Yeah, D8
1d8.
plus your dex.
I didn't have a D8. I've only had D6s out because, I've only been using... Oh, here we go. Here's a D8. D8? Yeah, D8. Oh, that's not good. 2.
I rolled a minimum of 3.
Okay.
Over there. Okay.
2 dexes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just taking notes real quick. What is your initiative score there, Maiko?
2.
Okay, so the initiative is going to go with Booker first once he is aware that the combat is happening.
Yep.
Which is not immediately. So your first round is effectively lost, Booker. Sorry.
He's not sorry.
I'm about to stab
actually-
the dude through the throat.
Okay. So
I'm giving everyone else as much time to stop me from doing this as...
You guys got to get there first. We're halfway down the ship.
yeah,
Halfway
there's
across
going to
the
be
base.
there's going to be an action in transition between the different parts of
Michael is
the
running
combat.
as fast as her little feet will take her, but she does have tiny legs.
Yes.
So Mortel goes on a 5, which would be after the captain, the slaver captain,
Yep.
and then Bite will act simultaneously. Then Maiko, and then the rest of the slaver crew.
Has anyone told Bite this is happening?
I assume that you've still been in the open communication. Oh, well, you still have like cameras and whatnot that are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see,
You're
but
on
I
the
have
other
no clue
ship,
what's going on.
but yeah. And look at the time. Oh, no time to start a
Presumably,
fight.
Bite knows what being a teenage boy, like, in theory, Bite knows what, like, a fight looks like, though.
This is unfortunately, Bite is a nerd.
But has probably seen other people fight, or has had, at least one wedgie.
Has
I
been
don't know.
beat up.
He, kind
There
of
are-
skipped some grades there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still sure that Bite has seen it.
So the atomic wedging was not quite. Well,
Okay.
no, it's not atomic. It would be intergalactic.
Yes. Spike
Okay.
drive wedgie. Yeah. Use the most powerful current thing, right?
Yeah.
This is the first combat I have run in this system, so
excellent.
I apologize
if
it's going to be a little bit slow, but I'd rather, double check some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, considering the time, we could always pick up the combat starting next time.
I'm actually fun.
I hate that.
I hate that.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
So does our audience.
Here,
Okay.
so quickly, let me explain some general things about combat. Everybody gets one main action per turn and one instant action per turn. Okay. There is going to be a list of main actions and instant actions that is in the system section. Basically, the main actions are make a melee attack, make a ranged attack, make a snap attack. It's an instant action. Sorry. Main actions: make a melee attack, make a ranged attack, use a skill, ready or stow an item, reload a weapon, or yeah. So that's it for the main actions. Any questions about that? You'll also have a move action, which you can use to hold an action, to pick up an item, to stand up, to run, or to club up a weapon, which is basically to change a ranged weapon into an improvised melee weapon. Then there are instant actions, which is to make a snap attack, which is like a melee or a ranged attack, except with a -4 penalty. It's just you can do it instantly, and it costs you your later attack. But you can basically effectively use that as an interrupt, but with a massive penalty to hit. You can also use a total defense as an instant action, which gives up your main action, but allows you to try to dodge, get away of something, etc. The other instant actions that are available, actually that's it, instant action. Oh, drop an item is the last one. You can also use an instant action to talk. I will let you say as many words as you have intelligence bonus +2. And sorry, I'm like very particular about the kind of like speaking thing because I've seen people try to like drop an entire dialogue and like seconds of rapid action. So and it kind of screws with my immersion, so I'm not good with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that puts us, so Booker's action, so since you have the first initiative, I will let you use your move action, which means that you can't move later, to basically hold your main action until you're aware there's combat. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts us to the captain. So you are unarmored as yet, right, Mortel?
Yep.
Okay. They don't ready any action. They just, ball up a hand, put it and try to put it into your gut, but you manage to see it coming, step out of the way. So which puts us to Mortel and Bite's actions, which will occur concurrently.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bite, if you want. You're watching.
Bite is automatically like seeing this on the camera. He's going, oh no, no, and just messaging Booker as fast and as hard, and like Mortel's in a fight with somebody. I don't know who this person is.
Wait. You have a limit on the amount that you can even communicate.
Okay.
Typing. So I will let you do your intelligence bonus plus your program ×2 in words that you can send in a single action.
Yeah, because he's just trying to send the message out. That's it. Is Mortel's in a fight? Help.
Okay.
That's 4.
Totally within. Okay.
I start unbuttoning my clothes. Honey, let me help.
Okay.
That's all I want to do.
So you're not taking your attack action?
Nope.
Or your main action?
I'm taking my main action to undress as much as I can in this few seconds.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. That puts us to Maiko.
Would Booker have seen this message by now?
Probably on your next turn, I would assume. But that's me. That's not.
Siosa.
You may, since you are presently holding an action, then yes.
Then Booker will have seen it.
Yep.
So up until that point, Maiko had been like racing toward Booker. But she sees the message, I suppose, and kind of skids to a stop.
Okay.
And so is it possible she has made it back down the hall toward where Nico is? Like, because I assume Nico was like where they were, and then she ran after Mortel and has now run back.
Yeah, so you can take your run action to either get to where Booker is, to get to the ship, or to get to Nico. How's that?
Okay. Gosh. Okay.
And by the ship, I should say the Lost World ship. The shuttle is with Nico.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So she's going to. Oh God, this is so much pressure, you guys. I literally have no idea.
No pressure. Just do what you got to do.
Trust yourself. Trust your character.
So Maiko is going to. She notices the message came through, so that objective is gone. So she's going to like kind of skid to a stop for a second, and then run toward the Lost World ship. Yep, we're gonna run toward that ship.
Okay.
And I think that's the entire action.
Yeah. So you dip in, you can see that like it looks like the depressurized portions of the ship in the back have been sealed off. But you run straight in and you hear kind of like a shriek of surprise. And you see what looks like an 11 or 12-year-old girl in a loincloth pick up a keyboard like it's a club.
Maiko totally shrieks in surprise as well, like in return. Like she's as surprised as the other person is at this point.
Okay.
For comedic effect, there's just a
and then and she'll like throw up her hands like to show that she's empty-handed. Okay. But I think that's my turn. Like I think that's all I can do.
That's so the Booker, you had a held action.
Yeah. So essentially I want to get is it a long hallway? Essentially?
It's
like
a run action that's going to be
no, I mean
no, they're not. It's the entire thing is like a curved refueling station.
Of course,
it's multiple.
What would be the closest angle I can see as when I'd be able to finally see them?
You would be able to get to the point that you could take shots with your move action.
Okay. I mean more. Am I within 1,000 to 2,000? Is that meters or feet? Because that is a big difference.
So your sniper rifle
makes a damn bit of difference. Actually,
yeah, you're talking like the longest
sight,
distance you're probably going to be getting is like 50 feet or so.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like this is much more using your pistol than the sniping rifle, because the sniping rifle doesn't really confer much advantage here.
Yeah,
and it
I
has
won't be able
a
to get
major
close.
chance of blowing a hole through something and depressurizing an area.
Yeah, and I have no chance of getting right up to them. I'm assuming.
I mean, you can be running up at them from the back, but there's about 7 or 8 slavers.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to roll sneak and try to keep that running.
Yeah, that's going to be at a -4.
At a -4?
Yes. Have you tried to run stealthily for real? Like I know in video
Oh, I
games,
have.
it's all
You
the
just
time.
get literally it's just get down as low as you can and move your legs. It's like taking giant
Usually,
lunges.
it's less about being heard so much as getting to them before they recognize what it is they're hearing.
Yeah, that's more what I mean.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
low to the ground also then lowers your center of gravity. It's just a bunch of you just get there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So I will if I can get either behind or at the captain.
There is almost the entirety of the slaver groups between you and the back of the captain.
Okay, then I'm going to start, and I'm just going to start at the closest one and stab him in the throat.
Okay.
That would be an execute attack, right?
Make the sneak roll first. The execute attack only works if you were standing next to them for a full turn prior to the attack.
Okay, so let's do sneak
So
with a
it's
modifier of
just
nothing on dexterity.
Regular type attack.
8.
Yeah, I will let you have the advantage of an attack that they cannot do a defense against, even as like a reaction.
Okay. Because I can produce my knife as an on-turn action.
Yes.
And my point-blank ranged attacks made from surprise cannot miss the target.
Sorry. You may ready or stow an item as a main action, but I believe that was what we had just discussed as like part of the arm.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean,
So.
sorry, with the sniper and the assassin perks.
Oh,
Feats?
okay. Oh, okay. So with those perks, you can produce it as an on-turn action. I get it.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Because I will shove that as far into someone's neck as possible.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Is that a stab?
D20 for
Yeah,
your
yeah,
attack.
Michael.
Yeah. Stab.
Booker got here, so now there's blood everywhere.
Yeah. Do I roll the stab skill or do I roll?
I had this under perfect control.
You roll a
or
d20
weapon.
and you add your stab and dex to it.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna quickly roll my stab, see if that helps with anything. And then I clicked Suit Ripper because that was the closest thing I could find to knife.
No, that when you rolled your stab, that just rolled 2d6. So, but you need to roll d20.
No, I know.
Combat.
I'm saying
Okay.
for the actual combat, the weapon. That's because would I just click the weapon for this?
Give it a
And I
click,
said
see what
Suit Ripper
happens.
because it's the closest thing that I found to. Yeah, an attack of 23 plus 7 with a damage of 6.
Suit Ripper. The Suit Ripper is
Yeah, I know. It's the closest thing I could find to knife.
no. There should just be a knife.
There wasn't.
There actually oddly isn't. I had to add it as a separate device in
Yeah.
I'm happy to write
Miscellaneous.
down knife. And it's a stab skill, but it's just
Yeah, it's just
Forget where I
considered like I think a small since you're using like a high tech version of it, a small advanced weapon, so it does 1d6 damage and 1 shock damage.
so it does 1 shock damage. Cool.
Yeah, so the shock damage is like basically if I miss, it still does a point of damage because I'm getting a cut in. Does that make
Okay.
sense? I'm just not getting a nice deep stab. Every melee weapon that has shock damage that's basically what's done on a miss. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But that would essentially mean the Suit Ripper and the knife have the same 1d6.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, I will keep so yeah, you have one of them down. So
Yeah, I've now replaced my Suit Ripper with something that says knife, and then its comment is knife.
excellent. That's fine. I think the Super Trooper has some like armor penetrative abilities. That's why.
Yeah, no, it has vac suit. It's not. It just disturbs the auto repairs routines.
Yeah. Well, it also has 3 shock as opposed to 1. So
Yep, which means I need to fix that.
that's fine. Okay, so you have dropped one of them, and so that is the end of the first round. So initiative order retains because it's just faster that way. So you're also getting the first action in the next round.
Oh, cool.
Because we're back to the 9. So, I'm sorry, but there's a wait. Before the end of the first round, there are a bunch of pirates that get to take an action. I'm going to do a quick 2d6. Okay, so they definitely notice the cut blood. One of them slumping forward. So,
so he's dead.
Oh yeah.
The one is
excellent. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. No, like when I said he was out, I meant like, knife like goes through part of his throat, blood going everywhere, grabbing at his neck, dropping to his knees. I was making the other roll to kind of see how if it was lucky enough that you could make another attack before the others noticed that they were getting attacked from behind. But yeah, they're definitely sick. So while the captain is happy to do some hand-to-hand pummeling, the other 6 pirates that are there, they are using their main action to ready weapons. So
right.
That's drawing monoswords, drawing laser pistols. So, all right. So that brings us to the next round.
Starts with Booker, right?
Yes. Starts
9? Yeah.
And I have to ready my weapon before I can use it, and I can't have had the weapon out already.
You ready
just stabbed a guy, so you got that
attack,
one out.
and it's ready now. It's ready.
Yeah.
You don't have to ready between attacks.
Okay, so I mean more if I were to use my pistol as well.
Yes.
I'd have to ready that first.
Yes.
Okay. How close is the nearest one?
Within main action distance. It doesn't require a move action to get to him. This is a fairly they were coming out of their quarters as a reaction to the captain in an altercation. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stab another one under the chin.
Okay. Go ahead and make your tackle.
Okay, let's see if I do this right this time. And then I roll stab afterwards, or no?
Stab
roll a
should just
d20,
affect your...
and you should just add your attack
it's
bonus
automatically adding
for your level.
to... Yeah. Plus your weapon, plus your skill, plus your attribute, plus the mod. So yeah, it's all in there.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's already there. Excellent.
Yeah, that's going to get them. They're not wearing armor at the moment.
Yep.
So he
That
just
is
killed,
fantastic.
Like,
That
2
is
people.
another one down. You are very much covered in blood.
Oh, it has not appeared on me that I've recognized that this is happening. Like
I'm
the
just saying-
eyes have glazed over. I'm not noticing blood is on me.
I'm just saying,
happening.
since
So he just like
Bite
totally
is-
like killed 2 people. Just
Yep.
yeah, like you probably haven't even really seen the shiv in his hand yet. He's just doling out some disappointment. Bite probably has the best view of anybody.
Yeah, I rolled
like,
max
doesn't want
damage with my
In
knife.
full 3D.
Does not want it.
Nope.
This is because that was just me stabbing the guy. As a little extra, Booker's going to lock eyes with one other of them. Just kind of point.
I'll take that as an instant action. Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that brings us to the captain, who is attacking again. Hopefully, with more success this time.
It's a hard ass attack somebody that's getting naked right in front of him. And I don't think...
So that is going to be a, let's see, +1 from dexterity, +2 from attack bonus, +2 from skill. So that'll be a 15.
Oh yeah, that hits him. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So their
I'm
punch-
assuming I healed up from the thing that happened 2 days ago, right? Actually, the doc
Yes.
came in and saw me, so never mind. Yeah, I know I was here.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I am just checking something real quick. Sorry about this. Once I know a lot more about what I need in any particular combat, then I'll have a lot more of it at my fingertips.
No worries.
Um,
I can't use this guy I stabbed as a shield, can I?
Probably
Just absorb like one or two shots.
That would be, it would be an action, and you could,
Okay,
I guess,
so,
instead of
you're
least,
going
yeah.
to take. Okay, so their punch have the shot quality, but they don't add it twice. So you're going to take the 6 points of damage plus 2 from their skill, so 8.
8 points
Hit
of
points.
damage. Yep. And yeah, that's gonna fold me for sure. It's my turn next, right?
Yes, it is.
If
Yours and
that's
bite
him.
simultaneously.
Yeah. Is the station captain visible? It's his ship. that
No,
we're
he's
fighting
still
for.
back in the galley.
Okay.
So he hasn't heard any gunshots yet. Booker just took off after getting a text, and he was like focused on the jump. Like he's still having a conversation with himself.
Yeah, I just figured he might because it was his ship, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, he literally is not aware that it's happening yet.
Yeah. In that case,
Chris is gonna stab him in the face after they're done. Professionals have standards.
I'm going to, instead of attacking, take off my hat and try and put it on him.
And then,
And I'm all but folded. Like, and I stand back up, and as I'm standing up, the hat comes off, and I just reach out and try and put it on their head.
okay, I'll allow it as a punch attack.
Melee attack,
Punch.
punch, right? Skill, right?
Yep.
This either. And because I'm trying to put it on his head, dexterity rather than strength.
Yeah, dexterity is fine for any
Matters,
attack
I
roll.
think they're-
I think in this system, dexterity is always what's used for attack, as opposed to strength. Like they don't have that whole strength helps you with melee attacks thing from D&D carried over.
I double sixed it. So mine, even with the -1, that's an 11.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow it. They have the hat on.
Yeah,
Oh wait, why did it? No, that you should be rolling a d20, not a 2d6. It's an attack roll.
Oh, I just rolled
Yeah,
the
but it's a
skill.
punch skill. That's the thing. That's why I got confused.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I get it.
Okay. So attack is another skill, is it? Where
No, it's just a d. So like you should. It would be like a weapon for a punch. That
I'll just
you
roll a
expand,
d20
so-
and figure it out. It's a 6
Okay.
plus
Minus
So do you
dex
have
is
any?
0. So yeah, nothing.
And
Just a
-1
6.
because no skill in punch, right?
Yeah, so it's a 5. So I missed. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of like. They don't know if it's just a hat or if you've got an explosive device in there. It just
Yeah.
reflex takes
Oh, yeah.
over to kind of smack it up.
Yeah,
Way.
absolutely.
Okay. So-
I'm
And
just imagining the hat. You put it on, 11 points of style damage.
So-
I still got my 4 words, which is I guess I'm yours. And I blow him a kiss. I just can't put this guy off. Like, yeah, okay.
Bite, it's your action.
Bites for words, because that's really all you can do, is grab Martel and run.
As a action, also you can be doing things like unlocking the container ships secure the containers on board the ship you've already hacked into.
I can?
Yeah. They're still in shackles, but the door will be open.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna start opening the doors. If I can.
Okay.
I don't know what to
It's where Maiko is running toward.
roll for that.
Yep.
Just more program?
No, you're in their system.
You've
You've already hacked in. It's just the action is just to actually open the door.
Yeah, I'm just gonna open the doors then for Maiko.
Okay, so that takes us to Maiko's action.
Does Maiko like hear the doors opening or?
Yeah.
Okay. So Maiko is going to, with hands still up, try to like kind of skirt around the preteen that's threatening her with a keyboard.
Yeah.
And
I prefer the term tween.
how would you know?
I know one.
Anyway, so she's going to try to skirt around the keyboard armed tween, and get to the containers that contain everybody else.
Okay. Make a talk roll for me. Just for, this is more like about body language and charisma and stuff like that, just to show, like, I don't mean any danger to you.
Alrighty. What am I using? Charisma?
Yep.
I'm a fail. You do the chicken dance.
$11.
Okay. That's why are you making that sound? On a skill check, that's fantastic.
For a skill check, that's great. Yeah. For an attack, that's not so good.
I didn't make a sound. What?
You just sounded very disappointed. Okay, so on the girl's action, the tween's action, she's very cautious still, but she kind of like lets you go by. So you'll get by with your move action. I'm not going to count the talk as a main action. But you can see the others, they're kind of looking at the open doors, surprised. They're still shackled, and after a moment, the tween kind of like, Mama, and runs towards one of the cargo things, and she full on smacks one of the shackles with the keyboard, which predictably shatters the keyboard and sends keys flying in all directions.
Yeah, meanwhile, Maiko is like working toward these and like under her breath is just like, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. I don't know how many times she can say it, but that's all she's saying.
Yeah.
And
She gets 2 out.
It's my turn.
Okay. So that takes us to the remaining 5 pirates. Yeah, we're down to 5, right?
There was.
Oh no,
There were
they're all
7,
gone.
right?
There was 6 and the captain, right? So now there's 4
Yeah,
and the
there's
captain.
6 in the captain, 2 are dead, so remaining 4 pirates now.
No, they're all gone. I heard you say so.
Okay.
I pointed at one of them. I have a very terrifying point.
Ooh.
I get one more round of taking my clothes off.
Okay. So
Yes, no, yes, yes.
Assuming there's no modifiers.
no, they're grunts. So
Yeah.
okay. So you do not have any kind of armor on, Captain?
Not unless I can still. This
You've
guy
already used your
my
action to
knife is
kill
still
somebody,
stuck up
so
in this guy's head to just kind of put him a little in front of me with the bullets. Not unless I can do that, then no.
no, not. You've already used your main action, and so you interrupting it with an instant to give yourself a defense would have taken that action, but you've used it. So, so that is. I'm just gonna roll the 1d6 for the laser pistols as one thing.
Okay.
Oof. Are you serious? Wow. How come I can
Okay.
never roll that well when I'm doing attributes?
So, here's the thing. Using my class ability of warrior,
You die heroically. 17
No,
points
he
of
gets to- he
damage.
gets to make
once
one
per
of them
scene as an
reroll.
instant ability, you can either choose to negate a successful attack roll against you or turn a missed attack roll you made into a successful hit.
Okay.
So you can, get rid
You
of
can
one
use
of
this
those
ability
sixes.
after the dice are rolled, but it cannot be used against environmental damage, effects without an attack roll, or hits on a vehicle you are occupying.
Okay.
So you can get rid
So
of one of the sixes.
that'll
Okay.
get rid of one of the sixes.
Yeah.
Yep.
As that was 3 unique attacks. Just
Yeah. Just roll the damage altogether.
Are you still alive though?
Yeah. Surprisingly.
Oh yeah.
It is
11.
very much
I
not a
could
common.
stand 11. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still not a very common thing to see somebody take 2 shots from a laser pistol and keep going. Just
Yeah.
as a general thing. Okay. So that brings us to the next round.
Booker.
Okay, Booker is going to.
Maiko is just like.
Yeah, Booker is just going to say the words "drop them," and I might let you live.
If
And then-
you would like to make an attempt to intimidate as your action, you may.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm doing.
Okay.
Which is
I
a
will
talk,
give you.
right?
I will give you a situational bonus of +2 since you have killed 2 people in as many seconds.
Yeah. So it's talk, submit, with the attribute of charisma, right?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is charisma.
Yeah.
9 plus 2. 11.
Yeah.
I can only roll 1 higher than that.
Yeah. I'm just kind of trying to figure out the exact reaction. So,
Large puddles appear on the floor in front of them.
they the captain's kind of half turned. You can see the other pirates, their guns are leveled. But they do very quick calculation looking between like the blood on you, the blood already shed.
Can they tell which blood is mine and which is theirs?
So I am willing to take us out of combat rounds so long as nobody else makes an offensive action for the rest of their turn.
Mm-hmm.
So that principally means mortelle since they're.
I haven't taken an offensive act. Well, I've been offensive, but I haven't taken any offensive actions yet.
I mean, nothing threatening.
Yep.
Trying to put a hat on, trying to kiss them, they are going to take as a threat or an attack. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Because they don't trust your motives.
Everything Mortel
And you're in their
does is
personal
an
space.
offensive action.
Okay. I'm going to cut us off here though, because it's 9:45. We're already 45 minutes past. We're out of combat now,
Yeah.
and so we can open up with a nice, fun negotiation next time. While Maiko is busy trying to free a bunch of captives.
Sarah, at least turn your light off. At least turn your
Yes,
light
please.
off. We don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was unexpected, but
I
okay.
am
So
surprisingly adept at killing people. Who would have ever guessed this?
you made yourself as a killing machine, and you're good at killing things. So
See, this is why I excel at not captaining.
thanks everybody for coming out and watching. I'm gonna have Kevin do our outro, and we will pick up next time.
Absolutely. We'll come back in a week. But first, I got to do the thank yous here because this was a big one. So thank you to Scarred. Thank you to Sarah. Go. I could see the headache exploding in your eyes. Thank you, and get out. You mess up the cameras, and I don't care. Go, go, go. Even better. Thank you so much to Gloriosa for producing tonight. So all I have to do is show up and play. I appreciate it every single time it happens. And thank you to Ciosa for bringing this adventure to us. It's good fun. It's a very different environment than the ones that are in some of our other games. So it's a really interesting twist. So I'm enjoying every second of it. Two more quick so everybody can go to bed. Everybody in chat, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. We went a little long today, so appreciate that very much. And all the people in YouTube in the future, thank you for watching this, and click that silly bell because my timing is terrible and I put stuff up on a completely random basis. So if you want to keep up on YouTube, you got to click the bell. It's all part of my clickbaiting plan to master the YouTube world just in time for it to disappear into the obscurity of history. Speaking of the obscurity of history, that makes no sense. Until next week, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Good night, everybody.